Xbox is having a rough 9th generation. They're outsold by PlayStation by 2-1 and Nintendo's 8th generation Switch. Game Pass, their Hail Mary, has stagnated, or at least it's not growing as much as they had hoped. Now they're raising prices on Game Pass and not selling consoles in as many countries and trying to get us to play Xbox games on an Amazon Fire Stick? Game Pass Cloud on the Fire Stick is the epitome of what's wrong with Xbox's approach, but it's also potentially the answer. Well, part of the answer. I'm going to be approaching this from two distinct groups: adult gamers and parents of gamers. That's kind of what this channel is about. What is Xbox trying to solve with the Fire Stick Game Cloud? Is it portability, access, cost? Looking at their press, Xbox wants to get as many good games in gamers' hands as possible for as cheap as possible. But does the Fire Stick do any of that? I don't think so. Let's take those off. 1, portability. Although the Fire Stick is portable, I can comfortably travel with one and a controller. It's a lot easier than carrying a large console in like a carry-on or a backpack. It requires a strong, steady internet connection, low latency, and having that good internet. I'm probably not going to get all of that while traveling. So if we want to game on our streaming devices, we're going to have to be locked in at home, or we need to really shell out for good travel internet. And that's whether it's on your phone or if it's to the Amazon Fire Stick. I don't know. Now compare that to a Stream Deck, which can run almost all the same games that an Xbox can, and it's going to do it on the hardware right there in your hands. Yes, it's more expensive, but we'll get to that in a minute. Or talk about the Nintendo Switch. It's going on 7 years and just plays beautifully. I don't travel without my Switch, period. I love the Switch. Yes, it's not as pretty graphically, but it's also not streaming over the internet. Both the Stream Deck and the Switch are fantastic for portable gaming, so they're accessible. Second is the access to games. The Fire Stick requires Xbox Cloud Gaming to stream a game. Nothing is played or stored locally. All the graphics and physics are calculated and rendered on Xbox hardware at a Microsoft data center somewhere hopefully nearby. So if we want to play a quick, precise game like a sports game or a shooter or a fighting game, we're going to have latency input. And while it is relatively small, it's orders of magnitude worse in those games to play. It makes many experiences just frustrating. It's really hard to try and play those. This means a large portion of the library is not playable via cloud gaming, especially multiplayer. And that goes double for those cash cow live service games like Call of Duty, Warzone, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege. Again, we can look back to the Switch and the Stream Deck for hundreds, if not thousands of games, and they both render on the hardware that's right there in our hands, so it plays nicely. The last major hurdle is the price. The Fire Stick 4K and 4K Max are less than $100. That's pennies on the dollar for a gaming console, but then we add on a controller, and that's another 50 to 70 bucks. And then the kicker, the whole lot of screw you buddy. Cloud gaming is locked behind Game Pass Ultimate. $20 a month to subscribe to more than 500 games. We just said we can't really play half of them, and I'm spending 240 bucks. So are we really gonna spend $390 a year to sort of play games through a streaming service to not have a significant portion of our large library, when we could buy a Switch for less than $350 in a couple games, or a PlayStation or an Xbox for roughly that price? What was the Fire Stick and cloud gaming supposed to answer? I don't know. But how can Xbox get back on the right track? I think if they niche down and stop trying to compete everywhere all at once and give gamers great games on the existing hardware, PlayStation focused on great games, and it seems to be working pretty well for them. Nintendo focused on families and portability, and that's working great for them. Or 2, give us dedicated portable hardware like a Steam Deck, or partner with Valve to piggyback on the Steam Deck. Don't do proprietary third-party hardware stuff like the expansion storage for this generation. That was stupid expensive. Make it easy, make it accessible, make it gamers first. Nintendo's done this with amazing success and still charge a premium for all their games, and people gobble it up. Third, they need to split cloud gaming into its own category and prioritize games that don't require ultra-fast latency. This is the biggest flaw in the Game Pass. It prices out the very folks that are the potential core audience for the Fire Stick. The casual gamers, moms and dads, non-gamers who want to try something new. But a $20 subscription? No. We all already have streamer fatigue. Why am I going to pay $20 a month for more? The price point in games just need to be accessible for new gamers. And a bonus one, focus on making great games with all the different studios you just bought. Not cash cows be milked and then laid everybody off, but do things with entry-level games for kids, couch co-ops for families, puzzle games, explorers, narratively driven games, fun games. Microsoft has all the tools and resources to deliver games to gamers, but instead, they're just trying to milk us for the money is what it feels like by hiding things behind the most expensive tier and not really prioritizing the games that should be played on those tiers. If they do that, then Microsoft could easily swoop in and take the family gaming, couch co-op, portability thing from Nintendo. It could do really well if it just allowed studios to stay together. If you look at Japan, there are labor laws that prevent laying off entire studios. It's amazing. So what did Microsoft do? They fired the entire studio. They just closed it. But Nintendo is reaping the benefits of year after year after year of nurturing and growing a good culture in their gaming studios and building good games, and now we're seeing that benefit years after the fact. Microsoft, let your studios work. Let them cook good games and get them out to the gamers. That's all I'm asking, because you have the tools and the resources to give us good games. Just do it. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts on this, but I've already talked long enough. So this is Wes from Ridir Gaming. Do good, play hard, game on, and I'll see you next time.